Hello, welcome to the real world of real estate. My name is Sean Policino, and today we're going to talk about the 5 reasons why you won't get the real estate listings you deserve. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the real world of real estate. My name is Sean Policino, your host. And today we're going to talk about 5 reasons why you won't get the real estate listings you deserve. We're going to talk about the tips and the tricks and the strategies on how to focus on seller listings. Because as they say, and this comes out of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Handbook called MREA, written by Gary Keller, a book you must read 15 times. And that's how, that way you can, every time you read it, I guarantee you'll get something new out of it every time you read it. And then you want to implement the model into your business for maximum performance. Okay. So the 5 reasons why you won't, as an agent, get more listings or get listings in general is because you will not look at the areas. The first one is focus your efforts, your strategies on efforts that generate seller listings. For example, you could post on Facebook a post about a client that you've helped. That's not going to get you a seller listing. But if you turn that around and you take a Facebook ad and you make it in conjunction with a landing page that is asking, giving people, consumers, the ability to get their free home value, and you run an ad campaign or a brand awareness campaign around that particular landing page, which is just giving the person that puts in their address and their email and their phone number, their home value, that will generate seller leads. Now, you have to follow up and introduce you to each one of these leads. So, for example, you put it out there in a Facebook post or a Facebook ad or a Facebook brand awareness advertising campaign. People are going to land on that because they're curious about their home value. Now, are they actually thinking about selling? Most are not. Most are just curious what their home is worth. But what it does give you the ability to do is build your list with homeowners that you can now begin to nurture through your newsletter, your smart campaigns designed around homeowners, a market value report that's designed to give that homeowner every month a snapshot of their market value. So not only do they get the value up front, but then they get the value every month and they get it from you. And then you follow up and introduce yourself to those people as their trusted and become their trusted real estate resource, so that when the time comes that they do need to sell, you are the person they think of. So that's strategy number 1. It is because you're doing things that are not deliberately going after seller listings. So the first strategy is make your efforts deliberately to go after sellers. And the way you do that is one of the ways you do that is by a Facebook campaign. There's lots of ways you can do this. Okay. If you were to begin, a door knocking campaign around just listed properties, this is where you go to the MLS, you find a home in a neighborhood that you want seller listings in. You're very intentional about where you're going after sellers. You find a property that was just listed within the last week or two. And then you turn around and you create a strategy around that listing. Now, that listing is not your listing, but what are you looking for? You're looking for other sellers. That's why they call them just listeds, because a lot of time there's this phenomenon that happens in real estate where when a sign goes up in front of a house, other signs pop up around it. And it's because there's other people thinking, oh, you know what? So-and-so just put their house on the market. We were going to do it anyways. Let's go do it. Go ahead and do it now. And they pull the trigger. So you're hoping to find those people by door knocking them, direct mailing them, and calling those people. Now, where do you get the numbers to call them? You get the numbers from a data company. And Mojo is a dialer company that I subscribe to, mojosells.com, where you can buy data and they give you a top 3-line dialer. So you can make it really efficient when you're calling people. I use it for expires and for sale by owners as well. So the strategy would be taking a just listed property and door knocking around it with a marketing piece, calling it around it, maybe 100 or 2 homes right around that just listed property, and then direct mailing to those folks. And on the mailing piece, your call to action is, are you interested in selling your home? Have you considered how much your home is worth? Are you aware that last 12 months, we've seen almost 20% appreciation in LA County? Do you want to know what your home is worth? And then you have a unique URL on that postcard, so that when somebody goes to, that person clicks on it, goes to, not clicks on it, but when they put that URL into their like your home value / and then a number 3241, and that number is directly connected to the homeowner that you mailed it to, so that when that person goes to that URL and they put in your home value 3241, it brings up the landing page, they get their home value, but guess what? You now know what address actually did that. So this is called a unique URL that goes on a direct mail piece. Now there's a company called Postcard Mania that does this. It's an excellent technique. They also have a whole online campaign that you can pay a little extra, so that not only are they getting your direct mail, but these homeowners they're seeing you online. They're getting cookies in their computer. They're seeing you on Google, Gmail, YouTube, your advertising. They're seeing it. They're seeing it in their mailbox. And over time, you will saturate that person by then continuing to follow up, eventually on the phone. So strategy number 1 is to come up with a strategy that's directed towards sellers, okay? Activity number 2 is you are going to get, reason number 2 that you won't get seller listings is because you're going to get these leads that come from your home value page, or from your farming, your door knocking around a just listed. Whatever the reason is, you're going to get people's information. You're going to call them one time and that's it. And you're not going to follow up. So therefore, you won't be the one that is in their mind, top of mind awareness, when the time comes for them to sell. So the way you fix that is by using a CRM system and scheduling time in your calendar to do the follow-up activities. Now, the CRM will do the heavy lifting. It'll do the automated text messages. It'll do the emails. You're going to send them a newsletter, and then you're going to follow up with a phone call. So all you have to do is respond to people that actually respond to you, and make the calls, which is once every 3 months. You're going to make a call to introduce yourself, stress to them how important the relationship is to you, and that you want to be their trusted real estate resource. I know that you're not thinking about selling, but in the event that you were, would I be the one that you would call? Could I interview for the job of selling your home? So this is the reason. So reason number 2 is that you will only make the one call. And there's a great sales statistic. I'm going to pull it up right now on Google, that this is a running sales statistic. This is just common knowledge. And let me share my screen with you. Okay, and so let me go ahead and share the screen, and we're going to go over the sales statistics. But this is number 2. 48% of salespeople, never follow up with the prospect. So 48% of you are not going to follow up at all. Okay, out of the ones that follow up, 25% of salespeople make the second attempt. So they make the first, they make the second attempt, and then they stop. 12% of salespeople make 3 attempts and then stop, and only 10% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts, meaning attempts to call. Now, here's the interesting thing. Here's the interesting part of this statistic is 2% of sales are made after the first contact. Only 2% actually buy or sell. We're talking sellers here. Only 2% actually
sell after the first contact, 3% after the third contact, 5% after the fourth contact, 10% after the fifth, and 80% or more people, 80% of them need 12 or more contacts before they're ready to buy or sell. So if you add up the first stat, 48 plus 20 is 68 plus another 10 is 78 plus another 8 is 96% of people. Okay, 90% of 6% of salespeople only make 4 attempts and then they stop. And 80% of people that are actually buying or selling are going to actually buy after 12 contacts. So there's a gap there in the follow-up. And so what I'm trying to get you to understand is that most of you won't get the listings that you deserve because you won't follow up. So come up with a system. Trying to get my thing to get bigger here. We're going to unshare the screen here. Come up with a system that allows you to follow up. The fortune is in the follow-up. So reason number 2 is that many of you will call one time and then you will stop. Okay. Reason number 3 is you don't know what to say to people. So all I'm saying is that there is so many scripts and dialogues out there. If you go onto Google and you Google real estate seller scripts, real estate buyer scripts, you will come up with lots of people that have put scripts out there on the internet. If you want to go to iconcoaching.com, up to the resources tab, you'll find agent tools and you'll find scripts and dialogues there for free. Sean Kokoska and myself, I'm a coach for Icon Coaching. Sean owns the company. Sean sold over 4,000 homes in Denver, Colorado. His mother, in her final year, she was the listing agent, took over 160 listings in her final year. The scripts and dialogues that she used in order to make that happen are right there on iconcoaching.com. So go check it out. Hire me as your coach. If you want to get my coaching for free, join our real estate team, the Policino real estate team. We're in multiple different states, based here in LA, but multiple different states, because we're part of eXp Realty, and that's one company, 78,000 agents, no office boundaries. You can literally sell real estate anywhere, and therefore I have a team in multiple different states. So if you're interested in knowing more about that, click the link below, schedule with me, or send me a private message, or you can call me 818-338-8787, and my phone number is below as well. So reason number 3, again, was you don't know what to say. So just put it into your calendar, make it a weekly routine, at least 3 days a week, that you have time in your calendar for scripts and dialogues practice. That's where you sit down with the script. Here's one right here that I'm working on right now. And you sit down with the script and you go over and you start out by reading it as if you're rehearsing for a part in a movie. If I was going to pay you $10 million to be in a movie and I said, here's the script, do you think you'd memorize it? Of course you would. Okay. So this is a multi-million-dollar business that could produce multi-million dollars of income every year for you and your family. So the scripts and dialogues are there. I told you where to get them. iconcoaching.com, resources at the top, agent tools, and seller and buyer scripts are there. Print out the seller scripts. Okay. Another place you can go is Google Mike Ferry 40 seller objections. And there is a handout there you can get for free with 40 different seller objections. Print that out, read it, memorize it, find a role play buddy and practice it until you know it like the back of your hand. I'm sure there's cliches that you say, or certain jokes that you've told over and over because you've memorized them. It's the same thing. Just spend some time with them, put in your schedule at least 3 days a week where you're memorizing the scripts and the dialogues on what to say. Okay, get a role play partner, practice it, and then when you get those sellers on the phone, you will be able to have an intelligent conversation with them. Okay, because you're going to be out door knocking. You're going to be out, if you're doing just listings, you're going to door knock, you're going to call. If you're doing home value leads through Facebook, you're going to have conversations with sellers. Just continue to do that. Okay. The fourth reason you will not get seller listings is because you don't farm for them. You don't actually go after sellers. We talked about that in reason number one, but farming is probably one of the biggest ways, the best ways for you to get listings, because you're going to take an area of homes. It's a neighborhood that's near your home or office, and in a higher dollar average sale price, you're going to pick a great neighborhood. Don't pick the bad neighborhoods. Pick the good neighborhoods. Pick the neighborhoods that are not gated. You're going to use a simple formula to figure out if there's a dominant agent in that neighborhood or what the turnover is in that neighborhood. Because you don't want to pick a neighborhood that doesn't turn over a lot if you can avoid it. You don't want to pick a neighborhood that has a dominant agent in it if you can avoid it. Now, let's say it's a really special neighborhood and you live in the neighborhood and you want that neighborhood and there is a dominant agent. That's okay. Just understand that a dominant agent means that they're farming that neighborhood and they've been doing it a while. And so they've reached a certain level of top of mind awareness that you have not. It'll take you some time to take market share from them if you do the 4 dimensions of farming. And I'm going to share those with you right now because it's a very important strategy, farming, in getting sellers. And you won't get a lot of listings unless you do this strategy. Okay. Farming is where you actually, all farming is picking an area of real estate, a tract of homes or a neighborhood of homes, figuring out the boundaries based upon the streets, going on Google Map, taking a look at it, going to drive it, figuring out if it's too hilly or like I said, if it's gated, that would be the reasons why you might want to move to a different neighborhood. That's the first thing. Second thing is you're going to get with your title rep. Your title rep will help you figure out the next 2 things. Is there a dominant agent and what is the saturation? Okay, and you also want to know what the market share is in that neighborhood. The way you do this is you go to your MLS, get with your title rep. They use a system called Dynamic Farm, which works really well. And that's also part of the 4 dimensions of farming, which the 4th dimension is using technology to gain a competitive advantage. Dynamic Farm is a piece of software that will help you identify the most likely sellers. It'll also help you by alerting you when somebody has a baby in the neighborhood or somebody got divorced in the neighborhood. These are important details. It's like intel on the neighborhood. So the saturation level, the turnover level and the dominant agent, you can do this by going into your MLS as well. You go into your MLS, you go to your map search tool, and you mark the status closed. You can do active and pending if you'd like as well, but for closed, and you go on the map search and you literally draw out the boundaries based upon those streets that encompass the area that you're going to canvas, that you're going to farm. This is your farm. And you want to know how many homes are in that neighborhood. The title officer will tell you, your title rep will tell you how many homes are in that neighborhood based upon those boundaries. And you want between 500 and 1,000. I wouldn't go over 1,000. It's going to take you too much time to door knock it. The idea is you want to door knock it once every 3 months, which is one of the 4 dimensions of farming is door knocking. Door knocking it once every 3 months is important, and that's touching every door, knocking on every door once every 3 months. Okay, so when you figure out the boundaries, you go into your MLS, you figure that out, you can look and see how many closed transactions in the last 12 months. If you want to do calendar year for 2021, you can do that. If you want to do the rolling 12 months between, let's say, April and April of last year, that's okay too. But a 12-month window into how many closed sales. Okay, that's a number you want to remember. So let's just say the number is 40. Okay, 40 closed sales in the last 12 months. If there's a small number, then you're going to want to increase the size of your farm. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to create a report for yourself in your MLS so that you can see who the listing agent is on those 40 closed transactions. You can also count the pending and active is fine too. But on my MLS, on my front page, I could create a column I can display the column called listing agent. And then I sort by that column, and it shows me all of the agents that had a listing, either active, pending, or sold in the last 12 months in my farm area. And then I count them. If there's anybody that has more than two, if they have 4 or 5, 3, 4, or 5, they're probably farming. If it's somebody with 3, then they're probably just started farming. And if they have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, so 5, if there was 50 homes sold and there was 5, that's 10%. If they have 20% of the market share in that community, they've been farming for a while in there. And that's what we call a dominant agent. So the idea is to try to find a neighborhood without a dominant agent, if you can. But if you still want to move forward with that farm, that's okay too. And then to finish off, the 4 dimensions of farming, the first one is door knocking it. The second one is direct mailing it using Postcards Mania, because they have the technology behind their direct mail piece. And that would be using technology to gain a competitive advantage. That's the 4th dimension. So door knocking it, door knocking it, direct mailing it, calling it. And then the 4th dimension of farming is using technology and events to gain a competitive advantage. In the summertime, rent an ice cream truck, put your banner on the side of it, drive around your farm and hand out ice cream for free. That's a cool way of branding an event. You could also, if there's a park in that farm, you could rent out the park or reserve the park if you can do that, and bring a bounce house in, bring a barbecue pit in, bring some snow cones and have an event and make it an annual event. You can also do at the winter time, towards Christmas time, you can do a sock drive where you go around and in one of your door knocking pieces, one of your marketing pieces, you're telling everybody about the sock drive to deliver you on the porch, front steps on the porch, to leave you a brand new pair of socks, and a brand new package of socks, and you will pick that up. They can do girls, they can do guys, they can do kids, and then you will deliver all those to a local charity, so that the homeless and people of need that need socks in the wintertime can have a pair of socks. That's a fun way of taking something like a pair of socks and turning it into an event that you can use in your farm. It's a way to give back. People like it. It's not all about real estate. Remember, farming is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So it's not about so much as selling real estate as it is building relationships with people in your farm area so that they think of you when it comes time to selling or buying an investment property or anything real estate. They think of you. Holding open houses. If there's any properties in your farm that are not your listings that you could hold an open house in, do that, because then people see your signs in the neighborhood. They're also getting your postcards in the mail. They're also getting your door drop pieces when you door knock and they're not home. You're leaving a marketing piece. We call that a door drop piece. So this will get you seller listings. It'll get you more seller listings than it will buyer listings. But of course, some people are selling and they need a place to live too. And you can, of course, help them on the buy side as well. Okay. And the fifth reason why you will not get seller listings is consistency. You will lack consistency. So if you can just pick one strategy and be consistent at it, you'll far exceed the efforts or the results of a lot of other agents. Remember, in our industry, 90% of the agents that get in this business fail within a year, and 85% of the ones that go past a year fail within 5 years. Remember, seller listings are key. For every seller listing you get, you should get 7 pieces of business. That's the seller listing. That's a referral from the seller. That's the sign going up in the yard and people pulling flyers from the sign or calling the number on the sign. Okay. That's people in the neighborhood seeing your sign and calling. on average, you should get 7 pieces of business from that one listing. It is all key. It's key to having a list, having the seller listings. So get the book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Get the book, The One Thing, both written by Gary Keller. Both will help you in this. The Millionaire Real Estate Agent will literally give you a model around seller listings. And everything that I just described to you in this video here is based upon information that I've learned from the Millionaire Real Estate Agent and in my own real estate business. Remember, I'm an agent. The reason we call this the real world of real estate is because I'm an agent just like you out there doing it, selling homes. I'm also run a team and coach a team, and I'm a coach for Icon Coaching. So if you'd like to spend some time with me personally, I'm giving you the invitation to do that. Schedule with me on the link below. Call the phone number below, 818-338-8787, or private message me, send up a smoke signal, whatever you need to do. I'm here for you. Love to get to know you. My name is Sean, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.